Let's talk about Hamza Bendelladj. You might know him as the Smiling Hacker. Catchy name, right? But there's more to his story than just a nickname. This guy's from Algeria, and he became super famous for, well, hacking. But not just any hacking. We're talking about 217 banks. Imagine the scale and audacity of such an operation. Yeah, this wasn't your grandma's Facebook getting hacked. This was high-stakes, high-reward hacking. This was the big leagues, the kind of hacking that makes headlines and sends shockwaves through the financial world. Now, you don't just become a master hacker overnight. It takes years of practice and a deep understanding of technology. Bendelladj was a whiz kid with computers. From a young age, he showed an incredible aptitude for technology. He started young, teaching himself how to code and figuring out how systems worked. He was a self-taught genius. But somewhere along the way, he went from curious kid to cyber criminal. The line between right and wrong blurred. It's like that old saying, power corrupts. And in the world of hacking, a little knowledge can be a dangerous thing. The thing is, Bendelladj wasn't just some guy in a basement stealing credit card numbers. He was orchestrating massive financial heists. He was stealing millions. And he wasn't keeping it all for himself. He was giving some of it away to Palestinian charities. This added a complex layer to his persona. He was seen by some as a modern-day Robin Hood, taking from the rich and giving to the poor. That's where the whole Robin Hood image comes in, but it's not that simple. But stealing is stealing, right? No matter the intention behind it, even if you give some of it away, the act of stealing itself is still a crime. That's the debate people have been having about him for years. Was he a hero or a villain, a savior or a criminal? The lines are blurred and opinions are divided. One thing is for sure, though. Hamza Bendelladj's story is a fascinating one, filled with twists and turns that challenge our perceptions of right and wrong. So, how did he do it? How did one man manage to pull off such an audacious series of cyber heists? How do you hack 217 banks? It sounds like something out of a Hollywood movie, but this was real life. It wasn't by clicking on a suspicious link in an email. No, his methods were far more sophisticated and insidious. Bendelladj created something called a Trojan horse. Sounds fancy, right? But it's actually a very dangerous piece of software. It's basically a piece of software that looks harmless but secretly takes over your computer. Imagine inviting a guest into your home only to find out they're a thief. He spread this Trojan through emails, tricking people into downloading it. It was like a digital wolf in sheep's clothing. Once inside a bank system, he could steal passwords, account info, you name it. The level of access he gained was staggering. It was like having the keys to the vault, and he wasn't picky. He went after any bank he could infiltrate. He targeted banks all over the world, from the US to Europe. No financial institution was safe from his reach. Millions of dollars were disappearing into thin air and nobody knew how. The impact was huge. It was like a financial black hole. People lost money, banks lost money, and trust in online security was shattered. The ripple effects were felt far and wide. Imagine waking up one day and finding out your bank account was empty. The sheer panic and helplessness were overwhelming. That's what it was like for some people. They were left scrambling, trying to understand what had happened. It was a wake-up call for the whole world, really. Cybersecurity became a top priority overnight. Cybercrime wasn't just some abstract threat anymore. It was a clear and present danger that could affect anyone. It was real, it was happening, and it was costing people big time. The financial and emotional toll was immense, and the world had to take notice. When Bendelladj was finally caught in Thailand back in 2013, the world reacted in a big way. Some people cheered. They saw him as a criminal who got what he deserved. To them, he was a symbol of the dangers lurking in the digital world, a reminder that no one is truly safe from cybercrime. Others saw him as a kind of folk hero, a modern-day Robin Hood taking from the rich and giving to the poor. They believed he was fighting against a system that was inherently unfair. It was a mixed bag, to say the least. The reactions were as varied as they were passionate. The debate raged on for years. People couldn't agree on whether he was a hero or a villain. Was he a criminal mastermind or a digital revolutionary? The lines were blurred and opinions were deeply divided. A villain or a vigilante? The question lingered in the air, sparking countless discussions and debates. There were no easy answers. The complexity of his actions and their consequences made it difficult to categorize him neatly. He was sentenced to 15 years in a US prison, but then, in a surprising turn of events, he was released early. This unexpected development only added fuel to the fire of public opinion, and when he went back to Algeria, he was welcomed home like a celebrity. His return was celebrated by many who saw him as a national hero. The thing is, Bendelladj's story isn't just about one hacker. It's a reflection of our times. It's about the bigger picture. It's about the evolving landscape of cybersecurity and the challenges we face in this digital age. It's about how we deal with cybercrime, the ethics of hacking, and the importance of online security in a world that's becoming increasingly digital. As technology advances, so do the methods of those who seek to exploit it, making the need for robust cybersecurity measures more critical than ever. Now that he's out, everyone's wondering, what's next for the smiling hacker? Will he go back to his old ways, or will he use his powers for good? Some people think he could become an ethical hacker. That's where you use your hacking skills to find weaknesses in systems and help companies fix them before the bad guys get in. It's a growing field, ethical hacking. Companies are realizing they need to be proactive about cybersecurity. It's not enough to just react after a breach. You need to stay one step ahead of the criminals. And who better to do that than a former criminal who knows all the tricks? But there's a moral dilemma here, right? Can you trust someone who's broken the law to help you uphold it? It's a tough question. Some people believe in second chances, others think once a hacker, always a hacker. It'll be interesting to see what path Bendelladj chooses. Section 5. Why cybersecurity matters now more than ever. Here's the thing. Cybersecurity isn't just about banks and big corporations. It's about all of us. Think about everything you do online. You shop, you bank, you connect with friends and family. All that information is out there, floating around in the digital ether. And it's vulnerable. Every time you click on a link, download a file, or enter your password, you're taking a risk. Most of the time, it's fine. But all it takes is one wrong click, one weak password, and boom, your personal information is compromised. And it's not just your data that's at risk. It's your identity, your finances, your privacy. That's why cybersecurity is so important, now more than ever. We need to be smart about how we use technology. We need to be aware of the risks. And we need to demand better security from the companies we trust with our data. Section 6, the Algerian connection. So, where does Algeria fit into all of this? Well, Bendelladj's story has put a spotlight on cybersecurity in Algeria and other developing countries. See, cybercrime isn't just a problem for rich nations, it's a global issue and it's hitting developing countries particularly hard. They're often seen as easy targets because they may not have the same level of cybersecurity infrastructure as more developed countries. They might not have the resources to invest in the latest security technologies, or they might not have enough trained cybersecurity professionals. But here's the thing. Algeria and other developing countries have a lot to lose from cybercrime. It can stifle economic growth, undermine national security, and erode public trust in digital technologies. That's why it's so important for these countries to prioritize cybersecurity and build up their defenses. Section 7. Teaming up against cybercrime. Here's the thing about cybercrime. It doesn't respect borders. Hackers can operate from anywhere in the world, targeting individuals and organizations in any other part of the world. That's why international cooperation is so crucial in the fight against cybercrime. We need countries to work together, share information, and coordinate their efforts. No single country can tackle this problem alone. It's like a global game of whack-a-mole. You might catch one hacker, but another one pops up somewhere else. We need a coordinated global response to stay ahead of the criminals. This means sharing information about cyber threats, best practices for cybersecurity, and even conducting joint law enforcement operations to track down and apprehend cyber criminals. It's also about providing support to developing countries to help them build up their cybersecurity capabilities. Section 8. The future of hacking, good versus bad. So what does the future hold for cybersecurity? Well, it's a constant arms race. As technology evolves, so do the methods of cybercriminals. They're always finding new ways to exploit vulnerabilities and stay one step ahead of the good guys. But here's the good news. The good guys are fighting back. We're seeing incredible advancements in cybersecurity technologies, from artificial intelligence and machine learning to blockchain and quantum computing. These technologies have the potential to revolutionize how we protect our data and systems. But technology alone isn't enough. We also need to focus on the human element. We need to educate people about cybersecurity risks and best practices. We need to train more cybersecurity professionals to meet the growing demand. And we need to create a culture of cybersecurity awareness, where everyone understands their role in protecting themselves and their organizations. The future of cybersecurity depends on it.